Voila, welcome, yay. Let's do some movement practice. Let's see what we get into. And how is autumn settling in the body? How is this early autumn season? Again, it'll depend on where you are in the hemispheres like this. I would say one of the key characteristics I've observed this week is just drying. It was so humid here, and it is not as humid, and that is crystal clear. And wow, just drying, and like drying the throat, drying in the lungs, dry cough, dry nostrils. So remember, neti, saltwater wash, is your friend. Also, nasia oil is totally your friend, really helpful if the nasal passages are feeling particularly troubled.
What did you call it? What kind of oil?
Nasia, Nasya,
Okay.
nasia oil, which is an Ayurvedic nasal oil preparation. And so there'll be like some good herbs, infused into the oil that will lubricate. There'll be a nice viscous oil that'll lubricate the nasal passages that also help with just like allergens and pathogens and all sorts of stuff. Um, I got on a protocol of neti saltwater wash followed with nasia decades ago now to manage seasonal allergies. And that's worked like this. If you get a head cold or sinus, or you're having allergies or runny nose or like this, you can do neti up to 3 times a day. So if we ever wanted to do neti together in this class, we could. Like if you guys get a neti bed in the warm salt water and just kind of want to just see the technique or something like that, it's we could totally
Sounds
do that.
fun.
Yes, yeah, I love Kriya. Like Kriya is some of the cleansing practices of yoga are some of my most favorite of the yogic practices. Like absolutely, I love the drink salt water, twist it around, like all this stuff. Like love those ones. So thinking about just foods with high water content. Like sort of the food should get a little heavier now in the sense of like brown rice, and millet, and sweet potatoes and stews. Everything has to turn towards warming. If you're even farther north, then you're already feeling it. Like I don't know if you've had your first frost yet, but it's possible. We're getting there. We're definitely getting there. It's dewy in the morning. Like it's happening. So look for the seasonal changes outside. Look for the seasonal changes in the body. See what you can observe like this. Just also want to flag up grief energy. Definitely was feeling like strong collective grieving energy yesterday as we recognize a year of atrocity in Gaza and um, and other places in the world, like this included in that. This is really about a movement of solidarity and indigenous sovereignty. So autumn is an exciting season, and it can be a very challenging season. Our practice is very important. So let's get into it and see where we go. So why not? Let's start on our backs, just having a little breath, just tuning in, seeing where we are. Yeah. Seeing where we are in the day. So just coming down onto my back and right away, I need a little stretch. I don't got my knees bent. And that's just gonna help me relax my low back. And I breathe into. In my mind, I thought as I breathe into the possibilities, right? As I breathe into What's happening inside? Do you take your book, your warm-up book, Rhodes? You need your book to do your warm-ups. Maybe bringing the hands resting on the belly or somewhere that you can tune into the breath. Inhaling, body fills with breath. Chest, belly. Front and back sides of the body. Feel the whole of the body melting into the floor, getting heavier and heavier with each breath. Melting, melting into the floor, into the earth. Let's do a little 3-part breath while we're here. So wherever your hands are, just bring them somewhere near the belly. A few fingertips resting on the belly. And with your inhale, feel the front and the side and the back part of the lower abdomen. With each exhale, I don't know what is happening in the pelvic floor. Massaging the organs with each exhale, things relaxing back into place or finding new places. Fluids flowing, shifting. An ever-changing landscape. Might even be able to feel this very subtle contraction of the base of the pelvic bowl with each exhale. At the bottom of the exhale, the base of the pelvic bowl softly contracts and pulls upwards, like a little tonification with each breath. Shifting the hands a little higher towards the chest region. So it could be down here on the bottom of the ribs, could be resting on the breast tissue, anywhere that's comfortable. Breathing into chest region. Relaxing back into place. Feel the ribs expanding as you breathe into the chest. Feel the rise and fall. And send the breath back through lung tissue behind and into the floor, like you're breathing into the floor. Find all this beautiful lung tissue in the back body. We're still massaging vagus nerve. Few more here. Feel how you can breathe in the sides of the ribs into the armpits. Notice if things are releasing, jaw, yawns, watering of the eyes, gurgling of the stomach. These are all sounds of rest. The language of rest in the body. Rest responses. Now shift the hands just above, like a fingertip or two, or near the collarbone region. And if that didn't feel good on the elbows or wrists or whatever, it's not a requirement. We're just breathing up here into the shoulder thoracic region. How high up does the lung tissue go? What can you observe on the front and the sides and the back? Oh, I'm having like a yawn fest over here. Letting the hands fall back onto the floor into any comfortable position. Now tune into the fullness of this breath. And let's maintain some fullness of this breath as we start to move and just like what's the first spontaneous movement that comes to mind? Think like when you're waking up in the morning and you're just doing a little stretch in the bed. Maybe the arms are overhead and the legs are doing something or other. I don't know. Unscripted stretch, and then we can turn this into zigzag twist. So arms out to the sides. Inhale in the center, and as you exhale, drop both knees to a side. Turn the head in the opposite direction. Inhaling in the center. So in the season of grief, in the season of constriction, in the season of dryness, breathing exercises are our friends. Without constriction in the throat. So there's no need for ujjayi breath, contracting the back of the throat, forceful breathing, making sounds with the breath, kind of yogic style. Again, that's ujjayi breath, the cheering breath. No need. We should know the right application of these things, but nobody knows these things, so nobody teaches it. Back to center. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Give the legs a hug. A little squeeze. And just start with some spontaneous movements from side to side. And back into center circles around the low back. Let the knees float away and then draw in towards the chest. And then let's do that in the opposite direction. And then widen the knees, circling knees in opposite directions, and we get a little rocking movement from side to side. We're just starting to get fluid in the hip joint space, SI joint space, in and around the sacrums, getting stuff moving. Okay, so the other environmental thing that's happening is cooling temperature. And that means that the fluid filled spaces in the body, they're going to be encouraged towards less flow, more stagnation, more constriction. Bringing it back to the center, give it a little squeeze. And let's come into Bandhasana bridge pose. Why? No. No, why? No, it's definitely today. It's today. 100%. Yes, I am. She just sent all the videos. Sorry, team. Parenting. But it was listed as today, right? Oh, that's confusing. Did you do some math pages? Did you do math pages? Okay. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, friends, here's the thing. We're back. Sorry, parenting moment. So we're doing Bandhasana. We're going to do like a few little variations here. Bridge pose. So feet are in line with hips. They can be close to the bum. They could be a little bit away. That's really going to depend on your body. Toes facing forward. We're just doing like maybe halfway, more like a pelvic tilt. Inhaling, lifting. Just see how that feels. Exhale down. Sometimes I do these little wiggles in between. Like I come up and I just wiggle a little. Sometimes I come down and wiggle a little, right? Inhaling, maybe a little bit higher. Exhaling. And I'm just sort of adjusting my shoulder blades, but I don't want you to feel the need to do some big expression of this pose where the shoulders rotate under. That's another thing. We don't have to do that. Inhale. Breathe. Belly. Middle. Chest as you lift it. Exhale. Chest. Middle. Belly as you come down, like a 3-part breath up and down. So maybe you're in a little bit fuller expression of the pose, but shoulders are still totally relaxed. So we are not trying to roll onto our shoulders, but we do want to feel lift through the chest. But do it as 3-part breath. We'll do a couple more. Belly, chest, shoulder, thoracic. Exhale, shoulders, chest, belly. How about 2 more? Back to zigzag twist. Pavanmuktanasana. It means wind releasing pose. Could also be interpreted as toxin releasing pose. This is knee to chest. So inhaling one leg up, bending the knee. Could also just be drawing that knee in towards the chest. Flex both feet. A couple of breaths, breathing, holding. Feel like that leg that's on the ground is gripping the floor. It's very active, not just laying there passively. Next inhale, we stretch it out and down. And switch sides. Inhale, exhale. Breathing. Right, noticing where can the breath be open, right? We could definitely be open in the back body. Inhale, stretch it out and down. We're going to go back to the first side. Inhale, knee to chest. So notice those places where you can breathe into. Other places are constricted. Constricted because you've got the knee in towards the chest, right? Kind of classic yoga asana. Like, where can you breathe? Where can you expand? This time you're going to stretch this leg towards the ceiling, clasp the hand on the back of the thigh, make sure that opposite leg is gripping the floor, flex both feet. We're hanging here in modified hand to toe pose. And we're breathing. Activating fascial plane on the back body, hamstring muscles. Big breath in. Exhale, let this leg flow. Give a little windshield wipers or little wiggles in between. First is Padangusthasana on the left leg, and we're observing places that we can breathe into and places that are squeezy. Activating fascial plane of the back body here as well. We're also squeezing large intestine and colon. Hence the wind releasing. When we do Padangusthasana as joint practices, we're talking about wind or air that's trapped in the joints. And this here is the wind in the digestive tract. So don't be surprised if you have a weak tooth. Inhale, stretch this leg towards the ceiling, clasp the hand on the back of the thigh, rest into that. Both feet flexed. Breathing, less constrictive. Although those hamstrings might be singing to you. We're going to do a little external rotation here. So taking a nice breath in, bend at the knee, grab that foot, let that knee rotate to the outside, and then draw the leg in towards the chest. If you wanted to bend that opposite leg, you could also do that. I think I like it better with the leg bent. Try the other leg. So grabbing the foot, letting the knee rotate to the outside. One more time. Zigzag twist. Zigzag it out. Nice. So we're gonna do a couple of poses from the side body, laying on the floor. So you want to get this bottom arm straight down, and then the body like straight aligned. I don't know if you ever do any like mat Pilates, but sometimes you'll be like at an angle, but we want to be pretty much straight up and down. So activating this side body surface area, upper arm on top, take a couple breaths and melt into the floor. So just like we activate when we're laying on our backs or laying on the belly, and we activate the whole fascial plane, that surface area, and we melt. So same thing here, but side body. Breathing in. Exhale, melting, grounding. Take your time. So this is another hand to toe pose. There's a little balance element here, but you're going to raise arm and leg towards one another. My hip is still deciding if it wants to do this. Towards one another, and then back down. And inhaling. And there could be a little external rotation of the hip at the top, and that's how you're going to reach the hand to the toe. But what you're not doing is coming onto the back, right? So you're staying on the side, There's a little bit of external rotation for hand and toe to reach and back down. So this is this little balance element here. And get really long. Sometimes I bring this back leg a little bit behind and I just get as long as I can on this side. And then I inhale, reaching hand to toe, and back down. And then I give a little lengthening. Yeah, so wow, that was really tight at first. There's a beautiful strengthening pose that tonifies the pelvic bowl, opens up the hips. And if you can grab that foot, you can give it a little stretch. And just enjoying the space in between. Inhale. Could even hold in the center. We're coming down. Just playing a little, having a big side body stretch. And then this is half side bow. I know. We're just gonna bend from here. Oh, I got a little cramp. Actually, the whole time we've been doing these series, I've had little cramps. And that's also part of the seasonal change and probably dehydration. Okay, but what we're doing is grabbing the ankle and bringing the chest forward, pushing the foot into the hand, and like you're doing bow pose, but from the side. You can even bring the chin a little bit back. Nice breath in. Exhale, release. And then we're gonna roll over and we're gonna do the opposite side. I'm gonna do like a 180, but you could just roll to the other side. First thing we did was melt into the foot. So get aligned. We melt. Let the body sink into the floor. When you feel like you're truly grounded on this side, that's when we start drawing hand towards toe. Noticing differences in two sides. There's often a side that is easier, more balanced. Take your time, maybe enjoying those little lengthening stretches in between. Really press into the floor as you lift. And we described there's a little external rotation at the top, but not so much that you're falling back onto the bum. Yoga style has us inhaling, drawing towards one another. But if you're finding your natural breath is different, is the opposite, feel free. I don't really subscribe to one right way to breathe in any yoga pose. I prefer the intuitive approach. We're listening to our bodies, and our bodies are the guide. Maybe last one and hold. Breath in. A little lengthening. And then we did half side bow, maybe with or without muscle cramps. Grabbing the foot, knees in line with the hip, push the foot into the hand, activate, chest forward. You could even stretch the chin a little. Nice breath in, releasing, and rolling onto the belly. If you're like me, I'm right at the top of the mat. Let's ground here. Favorite resting pose, Advaasana. So you're going to put your forehead on the floor, stretch the arms, hands are together, like thumbs touching, legs together. Forehead on the floor, nose finds a comfortable smush. Breathe into the back body and melt into the floor. Giving this a few breaths so that you can really feel what happens here. This is spine neutral. We might notice some of the muscles, parts of the anatomy that are holding. They're just contracted. I'm feeling into my left glute minimus. It's just holding. And it's not happy. And because it's holding, it's like pulling the whole hip. It's hiking the whole hip up. I'm also feeling lots of spaciousness through the vertebra. Nice deep breathing here in the back body. And so I'm focusing on that. And I'm noticing that as I focus on the spaciousness, Some of that tension releases. So just have your own experiment. There's the places of discomfort and holding, and then there's the places that are spacious, and just bring your mind to the spacious places and breathe there. And let some of that spaciousness infuse in some of these other places in the body. We'll do that for a couple more breaths. I suppose we'll keep doing things. I could totally hang out here for like 10 minutes. Okay. Anywho, bring the hands in line with the shoulders. This is going to be half locust pose. Yeah. With alternating arms. So right arm, left leg lifts. Doesn't have to lift very high. Exhale down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. So something I like to do here is to give a little traction out of the hip. So it's like I'm flexing the foot while my toes are still on the floor. Like somebody's pulling my heel and I'm tractioning out of the hip, and then I lift and then I come down. So with my right leg, I'd put my toes, somebody's pulling the heel. I'm getting that nice stretch through the whole back. A little decompressing out of the hip. Then I lift. Yeah, I'm going to engage glutes, hamstrings to do that. Opposite arm and down. See if you can add that little piece. Inhale as you lift. Exhale down. How about one more to each side? Adva Asana, reverse corpse. Let yourself melt. You're melting through the floor. Hands by the sides of the chest, baby cobra. We're going to roll the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades together before we even lift. Do it again. Roll the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades together. That's the top of the inhale. Exhale down. Take a breath at the bottom. Let the spine lengthen. Inhale, lifting. Roll the shoulders, squeeze shoulder blades together. And exhale down. Three more. You don't have to have a lot of weight on the hands. Next one, inhale up and hold. roll the shoulders, squeeze shoulder blades together, lift up the hands, bring them just a little bit in front. We're up into Sphinx pose, elbows under the shoulders, lifting, gazing forward, enjoying a couple of breaths here. Sometimes Sphinx can feel really good. Keep that little bit dynamism pushing into the floor, lifting up. Keep the neck relaxed. Jaw relaxed. Crocodile pose, a little bit easier to hold. Elbows onto the floor, chin into the hands. Breathe space between all of the spinal vertebrae. Big breath in. Oh, another pose. I think I could stay 10 minutes. Stretch it out. Advasana. We're going to be making our way up and back into child's pose. So that could be by way of the hands. That could be the elbows. It doesn't have to look good. Making our way back into child's pose. Take your time though. We just did this back bend series, right? So it might need a little bit of easing. Maybe the knees are wide. Walk your fingertips forward and then walk them over to the right side. Breathe there. Walk them over to the left side. Breathe there. Walk them back to the center. If at any point in time we move into a place where you need more time there, just hang out. Little range of motion movement. This is for adductors, so inner thighs. So here in child's pose, widen the legs, the toes face straight back, and we're just moving forward and backward, in and out of child's pose. So knees are wide, toes are facing straight back. Little bit deeper of a stretch, turn the feet outwards, let the knees slide open. Could be little micro movements here as we invite the adductors. Groin attachment. Breathe there. Use your elbows to draw the knees together. One more time, child's pose. Walking up into into Vajrasana, diamond pose. Rolling the shoulders here. Rolling the shoulders in the opposite direction. Having a little stretch, like earth face stretch. This is also Supta Vajrasana, so we're going to make space between the heels, walk the hands back, stretching front side of the body. Also activating stomach, spleen channels, earth phase, and that is very helpful for the season we're in. Head could be up, head could be back. Child's pose with arms by the side of the body as a counter pose. And then I wanted to do a pose here to activate the surface area of the head, top of the head. So you need the top of your head free. I think it's called like rabbit pose or something. So right from child's pose with the arms by the sides, you put the forehead down and then roll onto the crown. So wherever your forehead is, right? Like kind of guesstimate it, forehead, and then roll up. Roll from the crown to basically Agya Chakra to the forehead, back into child's pose. From here, we got to make our way onto the feet. Last surface area. Downward facing dog. You could wag your tail a little bit. You could pedal through the backs of the legs. Walk the feet forward. Walk the hands back. Couple of times tabletop pose. Hands come to calves, below the knees, along the calf. Soft arch in the low back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, forward fold. Next, inhale, roll yourself all the way up to standing. Take your time. Inhale as you do that. And as you come up to standing position, again, roll the shoulder. Roll the shoulders in the opposite direction. Like just laughing at this like thing that is behind my shoulder blade. Mountain pose, Tadasana. So we've done it today. All 6 surface areas activated in yogic ways. The last one is mountain pose, right? So feet together. We'll do it in the yoga style. Feeling all sides of the feet pressing to the floor. I've got my eyes open. I'm just going to bring my body weight towards the toes. You can't really see anything anyway. But towards the toes. Now I'm going to bring my body weight back towards the heels. I find my center. I lean a little bit to the right, but all the feet stay on the floor. And I lean a little bit to the left. All the feet stay on the floor. I come back to the center and I want to soften this whole thing. I've got a micro bend in my knees. I've got softness through the pelvis. I've got my chest forward, my shoulders backing down. I'm going to just slightly pull my chin in towards, not towards my chest, but like literally just a little bit back. Activating mountain pose, Tadasana. Bring the mind down to the feet and feel this deep earth connection. You are the mountain. Also, the goddess is the mountain. So by default, oh, you are also the goddess. That's beautiful. And now, relaxed mountain pose. Make space between the feet. Softness in the knees. It looks a bit like standing meditative pose. Those were the obvious physical 6 surface areas. Now just bring your arms out here. Trace the space around you. Trace this arm length of space above you. Imagine the same arm length of space below the feet. And now be in the rest of your body that's out here. All 6 surface areas. The front, the back, right side, left side, above the head, below the feet. Come all the way into this full expression view. There's lots of things to be done from here, but just coming into this expansive fluffiness. A little wiggling of the joints. So, hey, if you just found yourself in totally the right place, do a little standing twist, you might just hang out in that standing meditative space for a while. You might come into a Yoga Nidra practice, seated meditation, something else. Or maybe this was the break. And we're into the next part of our day. And as we have this little standing twist and feel into the breath, places in the body that are light, places in the body that are heavy. But here we are, moving in the world, perfectly flawed. It's great. So coming to a stop. We did it. A full therapeutic practice. Yay. Our organs are happy, our joint spaces also. So I'm going to leave you here and move into the next part of my day. And this was super fun to share this practice today. So I hope you enjoyed as well. I'm going to catch you next time. Yay.